Okay, Shalom Akim, Kahala Imna Yahabashim Yavshabashim Hakudash, and double honest agreements and apostles. Thought they have shot for the strength and those who made this video, and the arrows are they are built up from it, and this encourages you to keep the faith, keep your faith in Yahabashim Yavshah, man. So, as I named it, it could be a short video, really. Leviathan plus creatures of a kind. Because I saw this on my recommended, I just said, okay, let me click on this, man. Instantly, as I was clicking on it, I was thinking of the scripture, creatures of vengeance in Wisdom of Solomon 11, and spirits of vengeance, of course, entering into these creatures in Ecclesiasticus 39. But before I get those, let's play a bit of this video, maybe a good portion of this video. Then I'm gonna play another video based on Leviathan, and yeah, man, just bring out a few precepts, just a video to get to the point. But yeah, as the title goes, this is giant human-sized bat was inside abandoned house. And of course, I checked out the guy's channel. It seems that one of those those type of Christians of him going to like conspiracy theories, or read conspiracy really just means like an evil plan. A theory is something of which needs to be backed by evidence, one can say, or doesn't have evidence to back it up. It's like a proposition. But anyways, it goes into those things, and yeah, man, I say, okay, let me click on this and see what's up.
In Philippines encountered a bat which is as big as a human being. And this right here is the photograph that he had apparently taken. And just look at the size of this thing. And compare that with a motorcycle that's right in front of it. It's almost the size of the body of the motorcycle itself. Now, this photograph actually went viral in June of 2020, where scientists have now confirmed that this bat is indeed true. And the photograph that was taken is also real. And supposedly these bats are called as the vampire bats. Or in a more scientific term, it's known as the giant golden-crowned flying fox. Now, it's not called as a bat, they rather call it as a fox. Apparently, this man left his house for like a couple of years, and nobody was living in this house for many, many years. And one day he decides to, return back to his house and basically just reconstruct the whole place. And during June of 2020, this man decided to enter his house in Philippines, where he encountered a bat that appeared to be a man's size, and the image depicted a large bat that is hanging upside down from a structure, which led many to believe that it was as big as a human being. Now, supposedly, as far as what the scientists have done research, and they have now confirmed that the species is one of the largest bats that exists, which has a wingspan that can reach up to 5.5 feet, which comes approximately about 1.7 meters. We even have a couple of videos of this bat species, but it's not as big as the one that was spotted by this man in Philippines inside his house, which supposedly was just staying in there because the place was abandoned for like a very, very long time, and it seems like the bat just decided to make it its own home. And this is apparently what the other bats, which are pretty much the same species, kind of look like. Just take a look at this stuff.
Viral. The largest bat found in the Philippines is the giant golden-crowned flying fox.
That actually looks like a dog face.
It is considered one of the largest bat species in the world, with a wingspan that can reach up to 1.7 meters, 5.6 feet.
And the average size of male human being is supposedly 5 feet 7 inches, and this bat apparently seems like it is 5 feet 6 inches, which is pretty much the size of a male human being. That's
Man, the Most High has created a whole heap of creatures, man. Certain ones that are into hiding. And when I say into hiding, I mean are being hidden currently at the moment, and certain ones of which are obviously known to man. Esau Edom's discovered them. The Most has allowed Esau Edom to discover man. But there will be new creatures, which will be used to discover man. Which will be discovered in this time to come. So let me play a bit more.
Literally one of the hugest bats that can ever exist.
And a weight of around 1.2 kilograms, 2.6 pounds.
It weighs very, very low, though.
These bats have a golden brown fur color and are known for their distinctive yellow or golden colored head crowns.
Wow.
The giant golden crown, 2 kilograms, 2.6 pounds.
It weighs very, very low though.
These bats have a golden brown fur color and are known for their distinctive yellow or golden colored head crowns.
Wow.
The giant golden crowned flying fox is endemic to the Philippines and can be found in various regions, including Luzon, Mindoro, and the Visayas. It typically inhabits lowland forests and roosts in large colonies, often
So they do actually live in the trees. Aren't they going to look like a massive angel that's just
in
flying
caves
around?
or tall trees. Despite their intimidating size, these bats are primarily frugivorous, meaning they feed on fruits and nectar.
You see, you hear that, man? He said they feed on on fruits and nectar, man. Because earlier in the video, I think there were nicknamed a vampire Batman. They were nicknamed what do they call it? Vampire bats. So hold on, let's keep going.
This golden crowned flying fox is a critically endangered species due to habitat loss and hunting. Efforts are being made to protect their populations and conserve their natural habitat to ensure their survival.
So it seems like, there were actually many bats that were sized as big as the human beings are, and they just went in danger because people back in those days, they used to hunt these animals down. That's really sad. At the same time, it just looks super scary, something that looks as intimidating as a bat that looks like.
Yeah, man. There's even if I recall correctly, there should be a scripture here. There should be a scripture here. I'm gonna get this one soon. Obviously that's pertaining to Leviathan, but I want to play the clip first prior to reading it. So hold on about how we're supposed to be treating the animals. There's a certain way, man. Now, where is it? Hold on. Yes, probably earlier on. Right, anyways, I think it should be around here. I'm gonna read verse 2, which is the key part here. I'll start from verse 1. So Genesis 9 and 1. And the Most High blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, and the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. It says verse 3. So that talks about, in verse 2, it talks about man having dominion over the animals. So that's what that verse means. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth. The fowls, which are the birds, and of course the fishes of the sea. It says, And every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as a green herb have I given you all flesh. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. So it says, Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of the Most High made he man. So of course, even with beasts as well, we're not supposed to be just killing them off the whim, man. So of course, there's a I was gonna say penance, but there's a consequence to that, man. Even just killing man to man, there's a consequence there. So of course, just like beasts. Now, of course, when it comes to the Levitical law, in Leviticus, we make sacrifices now, which of course requires a killing in a certain manner, such as with a pigeon. You gotta wring the neck, just like have a twisted motion of breaking the neck. While you pour out the blood in the altar, man. There's a certain manner of things to do, but the point is you can't just go off killing animals, man. You don't know what we did in our past lives, man. So of course, the Most High has a way of teaching us things. So that's just on the point there where because he mentioned here that people used to hunt these bats, man. These giant human-sized bats, which the Most High has a purpose for each and every animal, man. The ones that fly in the night, like the owls, and the ones that fly in the day, man. Every single animal, beast that's on the field, on land, of course, in the sea, or in the air, he has a purpose for them.
Like a human size, because obviously, man, if you would ever just come across a bat that looks as big as a human being and that's just hanging around in your house that's upside down, and you look at this,
People would fear, man. People would fear, like, what kind of creature is this? Someone who doesn't have too much of an understanding of these things, or doesn't have much of an open mind, will think, is this a demon? But yeah, you wouldn't be too surprised, man, because if it's something people can't comprehend, they'll react in other manner of ways.
thing, and you compare that with the bike that you have, and it's almost the size of your bike. Could you bloody imagine how crazy that would actually look like? Look at this stuff. That's the size of a bike, and this bat literally compares to the size of the bike itself, and that's crazy. That's actually crazy. It's been living there for years and years. And unfortunately, and a lot of people have been asking if the dude is alive. Yes, he is alive. And fortunately, these bats, they don't eat humans. They
Remember earlier in the video they said they eat fruit and nectar, or more so herbivores. Let me let the guy speak.
are strictly herbivores, so they only eat berries and fruits, and they don't really eat anything that's alive. So it's basically a vegetarian bat, and they're very
But
friendly in nature as well. I don't think the bat
yeah, despite them being friendly in nature and what do you call it? They eating fruits and of course are herbivores. Herbivores just means they eat plants, simplistically speaking. So let's get on with another precept. Because I said, but despite them being herbivores, despite them eating fruit and nectar, the Most High can easily switch up the spirit within these animals to start eating blood and truly fulfill the nickname of vampire bats. The ones that are human sized. Because their height is like on average 5'6". The reason why I say that is obviously the Most High can do anything. Now let me start from this. Hold on, let's see. So Wisdom of Solomon chapter 11 and verse 15. But the foolish devices of their wickedness, wherewith being deceived, they worshipped serpents void of reason, and vile beasts, that goes into idolatry. Thou didst send a multitude of unreasonable beasts upon them for vengeance. So those unreasonable beasts upon them for vengeance. All it takes is for the Most High to put a certain aggressive spirit, aka a spirit of vengeance, upon an animal to do something that would be seen as unreasonable, absurd. Something that it doesn't normally do. For instance, as I said, the bat, the vampire bat, which is just a nickname for it, that we were looking at, it eats fruit and nectar and herbivores from now, but the most I could put the spirit within it where it starts to bite people. It could easily do that, and that could be a form of judgment, a form of vengeance. Hence why it's named a thou didst. So the Most High send a multitude of unreasonable beasts. The reason why they're unreasonable because it wouldn't make sense why they're doing it. But of course, to those who have the wisdom of the scriptures, they will understand, because you guys will know the scripture that I'm reading here. You remember it in that day, then when you realize, okay, so this is a reflection of the scriptures, man. So Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 16, that they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. So what you do, just know that there's going to be a consequence for it, man, in like manner. So verse 17, for that shows that also proves right there that not every sin is equal, man. There's certain sins that are just more grave, more serious than others. Other ones that are lowly, by the end of the day, still transgression against Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So this is why we need the mercy of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So verse 17, for that almighty hand that made the world of matter without form wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions or unknown wild beasts, full of rage, newly created. People gonna start seeing creatures of which they wouldn't even comprehend how they even came into existence. These are the undiscovered ones. But the Most High is gonna start to let them out little by little, man, little by little. So it says, for that almighty hand that made the world of matter without form wanted not means to send among them multitude of bears, fierce lions. I think there was even a video on a fierce lion as well, and a bear too, man. Spirits of vengeance. I might even pause this video just to look for it. But let's see. It says, or unknown wild beasts, full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor. Leviathan gonna be having that. We'll talk about Godzilla type of, which really Godzilla is rooted in Leviathan at the end of the day. That's where the character is rooted from. So a fiery vapor or filthy sense of scattered smoke or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. This we're talking about power beyond what Esau comprehends, man. Now verse 19, whereof not only the harm might dispatch them at once, but also the terrible sight utterly destroy them. So people are going to faint just by seeing this type of creature, man. People are going to faint just by seeing this bat. They're going to be like, dang, man. They won't even just... When a person sees something of which they truly fear, it sends shivers down their spine. A level above that is when you then faint as soon as you see something. Imagine that.
Would have attacked him either. It would have just
Yeah, man, that's a sight to behold right there, man. That's a sight to behold right there. Anyways.
loved being pet on. It seems like it was 5 feet 7 inches. That's really big. And if you're looking at it from far away and you just think that it's
That's probably a grown one as well, an adult one.
a demon or an angel that's flying off in the sky. Honestly, man, there are some very weird things that I think we humans still discover every single day, and there are a lot of different species that God has created. And unfortunately, it seems like they've gone extinct. Who knows? Maybe the scientists...
I mean, I believe that the Most High is just preserving them to be used for a certain time before they start coming out again. The Most High is preserving, just like Leviathan, man. Leviathan be chilling, but now, so gradually as more sightings are seen, things are warming up, man. Especially the ocean. The ocean's gonna start warming up more, which will then signs will be clear. Anyways, I might as well get to the next video, Yarat, as well, on Leviathan. Alright, so this is the Leviathan, the dangerous sea monster from Bible. Yeah, it's from the same channel, Blackwoods. Alright, let's see. Yeah, man, we're gonna bring out precepts, especially more so focusing on Job 41, because that's the major one. But let's do this.
This image has many suspecting that a giant sea creature is lurking in New Zealand waters. An engineer reportedly spotted the being in the Oki Bay while researching the area before heading there on vacation.
And of course, I know this is a minor thing, it's spelled as L-E, well, you see on the top left anyways, Leviathan. Same way in the scriptures. Of course, that's the English version. I think there's a way to say in the ancient Hebrew, but it doesn't come to mind right now.
There's some very weird things happening in the ocean right now, and it seems like even the most dangerous predators, like the hunter whale, are now running out of the ocean to the shore side because they seem to be afraid of something that's happening inside the ocean right now. And a fishing boat near Greece captured a footage in the ocean that's currently shocking the entire world, because what I'm going to be showing you in that footage is actually crazy. Let's first take a look with what's currently happening in the ocean. Now, many people have been speculating that the reason why even the most terrifying sea creatures are now scared of something that's actually living inside the ocean that seems to have been awakened after all these years is probably known to be a creature called the Leviathan. Now, Leviathan is a creature that's mentioned in the ancient scriptures of Torah, Bible, as well as Quran. And this creature is also mentioned in the Hindu scriptures, which is said to be a creature that will awaken during the end times. And this creature in the Norse mythology is also known as the world serpent, which is extremely huge in size that it can literally just swallow an entire nation. So that's the kind of size of this beast that we're dealing with. That
Even Godzilla, one could say that it's a underplay to the size, the true size of Leviathan, man. What I'm trying to say is Godzilla is small compared to the real deal. I mean that's I'm just speaking as a man, plainly. That's what I believe, man. That Leviathan, in terms of its true scale and size, is far bigger than what's portrayed in the movies, man. In Godzilla franchise.
under the ocean. Now, of course, this is something a lot of people have been speculating that this could be one of the reasons as to why these fish are actually coming ashore. Now, take a look at this footage over here where you can see some sort of a mythical fish that has this electricity passing all over it. So this fish is named as the doomsday fish. Anytime this fish ends up coming up all the way to the shore, this most probably means that there is some sort of a massive disaster that's going to come up. Crazy this fish looks, and look at the sound that it makes. That's crazy. I don't know if it's electricity or if it's just its scales, man. That looks so good. As beautiful as it might seem, this fish is not something that should appear on the shore.
Yeah, I think it could be the scales that make it appear quite metallic. You know, there's many types of fish out there, man. Even the ones that are in the deep, the one that Esau can't discover. You know, there's many different types of fishes, man. But as he said, this one's called the doomsday fish. Apparently, you know, if people see this, you know, something bad is about to happen, man. So all of this are signs, man. You know, we're supposed to consider the little ones and the big ones as well. Let me try to get that. This is Ecclesiasticus 5 and verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So even the little details matter as well, man. Such as this this fish over here. Hold on. Yeah, such as this you know, the fish that was glimmering, man.
I don't know if it's electricity or if it's just its scales, man. That looks so good. As beautiful as it might seem, this fish is not something that should appear on the shores, because when it does, there is definitely some massive disaster that's coming up. And it's not just this. A couple days ago in India, there seems to be 700,000 tortoise that just came out of the beach in Odisha. And this is how crazy it looks, man. Just take a look at this stuff. These are how many of these things that are currently visible, and we don't know what's happening. It seems like, you know, most of them are laying eggs. Something that's inside the ocean, they just felt that, you know, it's not really safe, so they decided to show up on the shores in the beach. And it's not just hundreds and thousands. There are 700,000 of these turtles that are showing up in the beach. And how in the world is any of these things that we're witnessing right now even normal? Like 700,000 of them showing up at the same time. And then we also have the doomsday fish that's showing up in the shores. And I don't think there is anything out there in the ocean that the killer whales are even scared of. They're not even scared of sharks. And if these creatures are afraid of something that they've seen in the ocean, then that is...
Now, of course, this is an animation, by the way, just to clarify for the brothers, man. This ain't real footage. This is animation.
something that we humans should be worried about. Because just a couple days ago in Australia, it seems like 150 killer whales showed up on the beach, and they were scared and they were freaking out, and most of the whales even ended up dead out of panic. Just take a look at this video here.
False killer whales have been stranded.
Ed eccoci arrivati a Flamingo Beach.
Off the coast of Tasmania, Australia.
And they were freaking out, and most of the whales even ended up dead out of panic. Just take a look at this video here.
False killer whales have been stranded off the coast of Tasmania, Australia. Initial observations revealed 90 whales were
Look at that, they're
still
dead, man.
alive. But local wildlife officials said they'll euthanize surviving animals after rough ocean conditions made it impossible to refloat them. Rescuers had attempted to send 2 of the whales back out to sea, but wind and rough seas meant they immediately returned to shore.
That's crazy. It doesn't seem like they want to go back as well. They're not putting any efforts in order to go back. They, on purpose, all of these whales and all these fish and turtles and some of the craziest creatures are coming out.
The cause of the stranding is still unknown.
Well, pretty much the cause is known, but you know, for those of us that Yahweh Shemish has blessed with understanding of the scriptures, we know that the real reason why you got the doomsday fish coming out, you have the tortoise coming out as well, 700,000 in India. And you got Tasmania, Australia that have a whole bunch, I think 90 killer whales on the shore of the beach, man, because these animals know in their spirit, man, that something's about to happen. The king, the father of all the fish, is about to flipping come out, man. The father of all the fish, man, the beast of all the fish, if you can even understand me, the one above all the fish. This is that's me referring to Leviathan, man. So I'm gonna get Job 41 right now, man, because Job 41 literally describes why this has happened. Because of Leviathan. The presence of Leviathan awakening is why it's happening. Alright, so this is Job chapter 41 of verse 1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? What that means is you can't fish for Leviathan, man. There ain't no fishing rod strong enough or long enough to actually do that. So verse 3, will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird? Wilt thou bind him with thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou feel his skin and barbed irons of his head and his fish spears? So the point is, between verse 4 and verse 6, those are just rhetorical questions from the Most High, man. You can't flip and reason with a creature like that. That's the point. You cannot read, and Esau can't. Esau ain't gonna be able to reason with him, man. You could already see. I mean, obviously in the movies they can they could play around with it, because I remember in not the latest one. I mean the newer one that's coming out in 2027, but the one that came out, what's it called, man? Kong X Kong. No. What's it called? Godzilla X Kong. I think it was something Empire, something like that, or the Fallen Empire, something like that. Let me search it out quickly. Yeah, Karma. This is that movie Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. It came out 2024. Last year. And what I was saying is, for Kong, there was this I want to say either Reubenite or Gadite. Actually, yeah, Gadite. There was this Gadite looking child of whom could reason with the animals, man. Which is, yes, it's very spiritual. It's still very spiritual, because Gad and Reuben as well, they're very close to Earth. Not just Earth as well, with animals too. I would presume as well, of the environment. But the point is, they had that Gadite girl with the ability to reason with Kong, man, which is on the right over here. The big gorilla Kong. So by the end of the day, the point being is in Job 41 is that you can't reason with Leviathan, man. You just can't reason with him unless it be of the Most High's will. Because at the end of the day, in the kingdom of Yahushua, we wouldn't have to worry about Leviathan anyways, man. He'll be cool with us. You know how I know that? Because of this, man. Because the privileges we're gonna have in the kingdom Yahushua that will make it is gonna be far beyond what Esau ever got in his kingdom. Right, so it says here, Job 5 and verse 23, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Now remember, we read in Genesis 9 and about verse 2 that we'll have dominion over the animals as well. Not just the beasts of the field, but also the birds of the air and the fishes of the sea. So of course that's all about the kingdom though. So where we're in those new bodies. Now going back to Job 41, the point being is that you can't reason with Leviathan, man. Esau won't be able to do anything to be able to negotiate. Hence why I said from verse 4 to 6, those are just rhetorical questions, man. Questions of which you shouldn't really answer. Or should not be answered, I should say. Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one cast down even at the sight of him? That's talking about fainting. Remember when I read Wisdom of Solomon chapter 11 about should be verse 19, about the sight of these unknown beasts causing people to faint. That's the same thing. Leviathan, the sight of Leviathan will cause people to faint. Right there, man. Hold on. So, but none is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. So of course the Most High is going to allow Leviathan to just be in his nature of fury, man. Nature of strength, fury, and the devastation, because that's the level of power that the Most High has given him. That he's given this creature. This is the Most High's pet. It's Yahweh's pet, man. So who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another, they stick together. So this is now the description of Leviathan, man. In terms of his this is why it's going to look so devastating when he appears. So by his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. So he probably got bright eyes, man. Glowing eyes. I read these because we read it also in Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 17. I might as well just get it quickly. About eyes, creatures of which the eyes produce sparkles, man. Let's get it. Yeah, it says there, Wisdom of Solomon 11 verse 18, or unknown beast full of rage, newly created, breathing out fiery vapor, or filthy scents of scattered smoke, shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes, man. So of course Leviathan is one of these beasts as well. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, let's see. Yep. So by his neesings the light doth shine. Remember, horrible sparkles, man. There are sparkles out of the eyes. And it says, and his eyes are like the eyes of the morning, and out of his mouth go burning lamps. Remember, scattered smoke, fiery breath. We read it in Wisdom of Solomon 11, verse 17 just now, or verse 18. It says, out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out of his mouth. So remember, in the Godzilla movies, Godzilla had the ability to also shoot sparkles out of his mouth, shoot like a laser out of his mouth, very hot fire. So it says, his breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength. Sorrow is turned into joy before him. It says, the flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved, which means the skin of Leviathan is impenetrable. You can't go through it. Esau, whatever thing he sends, you can't go through it, man. You can't break the skin. So the scales. So verse 24, his heart. No, let me even highlight this one as well. So it says his heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves. It says the sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the darts, nor the harbigin. All these are weapons. He esteemeth iron as straw. You see that? And brass as rotten wood, man. I remember when I think it was either probably in Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, in the movie as well, Godzilla actually split the boat in half, man, if I recall correctly. Using his mouth or even just his body. So yeah, man, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. Which means Leviathan, of course, the real Leviathan, he can break metal, he can bend metal, man. Metal, as it says here, he esteemeth iron as straw, which means iron is soft to him, man. Metal is soft to him. Brass as rotten wood, So he can break through it easily. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things under the mire. He maketh the deep to bore like a plot. See? That's the part right there. He maketh, because remember, I'm going to go back to the video just to remind you guys. Remember, the doomsday fish came out. That's one thing. You had the 700,000 tortoise came out as well in India. And then in Tasmania, Australia, you had the 90 killer whales that came out. And I said the reason why is because of Leviathan. This is why. Because Leviathan is awakening. As he's awakening, his body is warming up the ocean, man. And there's a point where it's like the other predatory fish, killer whales and that, and other creatures of the sea can't handle it. They can sense it in their spirits as well. So they're preparing a way for Leviathan to come through. Now it says, he maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. So let's get back to the video just to see the point, man. Imagine that, though. I'm even just looking at this image, man. When people see Leviathan, they're gonna fear. So yeah, man, let's continue.
I'm pretty sure there's a disaster coming.
Of course, that image could be a 3D render. 3D render using computer software. But at the end of the day, when the real Leviathan comes out, it's gonna be, you can't doubt it, man. That's the point. It's gonna be everywhere.
There is a massive disaster that's coming up. And also today we just found out that there is a brand new mysterious showed up.
If you only buy one, you're just losing money. Add another to your order and get it for less than $20. It is a
Seems like like 150 killer whales showed up on the beach, and they were scared and they were freaking out, and most of the whales even ended up dead out of panic. Just take a look at this video
157
here.
false killer whales have been stranded off the coast of Tasmania, Australia. Initial observations revealed 90 whales were
Look at that, they're
still
dead, man.
alive.